ability to just sit down and like get all of my thoughts out, but right now making these videos feels more like writing an essay, and then every time I edit I'm like, oh, I have more to say. So that's me popping in. I realize that that might be jolting for you as an audience, but I'd rather like get my thoughts out there than get stuck in the perfectionism of making it look all cohesive. So anyway, let's get back into it. And I've been thinking about this on and off for a while, but I think the need for it was kind of driven home when I got a couple of comments along the lines of like, 5 minutes is really long for an intro. Feelings about it, because I haven't talked about this a lot on this season, but last season, clients. In fact, I'd like to say probably all of my clients is exactly what those took. I would give them like a formula for the best intro possible. And in starting my own podcast, I've become a bit of a hypocrite about that. And the thing now that I want to make clear before we get any further, now that I have more of an audience than I've ever had before, is that I hope that you stick with me long enough to see me become a hypocrite. Because I'm not afraid to change my mind and change my mind in public. And I mean, I'll say, actually, yeah, I am afraid. I am afraid of how quickly audiences can turn on me. That has been something that has been freaking me out in the past couple of days. So there is a fear there, but I also want to kind of highlight how beautiful it is to go through it in my business. I have marketed this listeners, and strategically, analytically, that's true. I'm sure I am losing listeners at the beginning of my episodes because I'm talking about BS. When I started this podcast, I kind of made a deal with myself that I would throw out a lot of my own understanding of best practices when it came to podcasts, because so many of the podcasts that I have worked with, in fact, I would say almost all of the podcasts that I have worked with, have been part of a marketing funnel for a business. And while option is that you have discernment and you have autonomy over your experience. If something I'm saying is not for you, then the video is not for you. And I think with the rise of AI and probably a bunch of different factors, people are starting to kind of approach creators with this mindset that they should be automatically serving their interests and giving them this instant gratification of like, answer my question immediately, you know? And it's like, if that's what you need, we have AI for that. Right now I want to zero in on how it's hurting our creative impulses, but just know that this is like a much larger issue. Anyway, enough of that tangent. I mean, I think about like, if I opened a book and I expected the answer to be on the first page, I would never open a book again, because that's just not how it works. So when you're consuming things, you kind of have to ask yourself,